I've been a resident of Boise, Idaho for over 800 years. I just don't get why this always happens to me every single time.
Oh, come on, guys. You get it. You get it, right?
Hello, and welcome to yet another Rag Company podcast where you've got the full buffet, the full crew.
It's been so long.
Back in the room together. Levi, I hope you had fun while we were away doing some Q&A. I saw Lucas in here. He did a great job. And shout out Lucas.
And Aaron.
And Aaron as well, of course. But he's done this before, hasn't he? Been in the room? No, really? Oh, okay.
That was Aaron's first time? That was Lucas'
I could have
first
sworn
time.
that was Aaron's second time, but no.
Well, no,
Okay.
he walked in. He's walked into the
okay.
room to ask a question and also to show us his costume
Right.
for 4th of
To
July.
be fair, not the same thing.
Yeah,
so
not
that's
at
why
all.
I thought
But
so. But
was
Lucas,
fun. But they
I felt
both
like
did
was
amazing.
Total greenhorn, and they
Very
both did
proud
great.
of them.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of that was just to get everybody to get to know the boys that they
That's a good
call
idea.
every day.
Yeah.
The customer service guys, and that way they can see their faces, get some answers. Both of them are IDA CDS VE'd.
Yes, sir.
So pretty impressive.
Very nice.
All right. So welcome to the show. I'm Dane Hennon. That's Levi Gates. And that is Anthony Fisher.
Wow.
And we're here to have ourselves a little bit of chat about our weekend, past week.
Did you
that
get your
kind of
haircut,
thing.
Dane?
I did get a haircut.
Looks good.
That's
it's,
right.
Good.
It's a very mature haircut
Yeah, just
too.
what?
It's like it's a different style than you're normally.
Yeah, we're trying. I'm going for
I
more
like
of an
it.
undercut thing, but it hasn't grown out enough yet. So
That looks
it's a little,
good. I'm very
little
proud
bit of that.
I'm impressed. It's a very
Trying to spice it up a little.
okay.
Yeah.
I like that.
That and losing weight. I've made it
Yeah.
almost 10 pounds down.
No, it's a
from where I
good. It's a
started,
really
so
good haircut. I want you to know
We're
that.
trying, but thank you.
Did he go see? Did he go to his?
Yes.
Did he go to your mom to
Nope.
get his hair?
Nope.
Oh.
He
No,
went to his-
I'm sorry. I don't
Okay.
have her number.
Didn't know. I'm just saying that's
yeah.
a good haircut. That's all. I'm just impressed.
Well, thank
So,
you.
Levi cuts his own hair.
I was going to say, he's very good.
Doesn't have
He,
any
he
hair right
did
now.
it himself.
I did it
There's
myself.
no mistaking the
I
handiwork of a
had
professional.
did my hair
The master of shine
myself.
has a shiny head. All right. So, now, moving along, is there any housekeeping to address before we get into
Not at the
our
moment. A lot of
stories?
people have been asking. They've been super bummed because they just realized that we had finished our Valentine's Day sale, right? And they're like,
Valentine's Day is
I know.
gone,
It's
guys.
yeah. They were like, "Oh man, people have been messaging me. Hey, do you got any codes I can use?" And
we
I
try
say,
to give everybody a heads up.
yeah, I say,
People
hey,
that are thirsty for some codes.
they want
are
some codes.
Fiending for
You know where
codes.
they get those codes?
Yeah,
Where?
by following their Grandbassadors,
Exactly.
the Grandbassador program.
That's
you
right.
You have 6 10% coupon codes that you have ready to rock and roll.
You can use
All
anytime.
All you need to do is follow
All the time, as many times as you want.
Just follow them.
yeah.
Follow
How
them.
are our
It's that easy.
ambassadors doing this
Super
time
simple.
around?
They're
New
doing-
folks out in the wild.
They're doing amazing. So I want to give a shout out to all 6 of them for just absolutely killing it. I know that we've been gone for the last, I don't know, I've been gone for what seems like the last couple weeks, but they've really taken the reins and they've been producing some pretty amazing content. Everything from doing unboxings to giveaways to, really just satisfying real content. I kind of told them at the beginning of the trimester here that I wanted to see them really pump out as many reels as they can, some high quality reels, and they're doing just that. They're making some really fun stuff, and so hopefully they continue on with making more, and they have another essentially couple months left here of this program, and so I want them to keep killing it. And then, of course, what's cool about being obviously a Grand Ambassador is they get kind of a sneak peek at certain things and whatnot. So here this week or so, I'm going to be showing them some things that aren't quite out yet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so
Wink, wink.
on Thursday's Q&A, we actually brought out the USS to just give people a little
Yes.
taste.
A little taste.
The one thing we did bring out was the new brush, the Ultra Wheel and Body Brush.
You didn't bring it out?
I didn't bring it out on Thursday,
didn't
but
bring
you
it
know
out.
what I did bring it out in? During our Porsche class we had this
Oh,
weekend.
okay, good.
And some folks from the local Silver Sage Porsche Club of Idaho got their hands on the brush,
Wow.
purchased it in our store
What did they think?
as an early release.
Well, the fact they bought it says what they thought. but-
Yeah, so pretty cool. They were pretty stoked about that, but we do have a number of products and items that are going to be coming out that you guys are going to be able to get your hands on, and the only way you do that is by signing up for the newsletter. So please go to the website, sign up for the newsletter. Make sure you're following our Grand Ambassadors because, like Anthony said, What are they going to get? What are you thinking? Do you think you're going to send one or the other? What are you going to do?
No, I'm going to try to probably send as many things as I can.
Oh.
We're going to see what happens.
Just go full meal deal.
Yeah, full meal deal. So, no, that's pretty much it. Coming up on the rest of this month here, we're coming to a close on February. Obviously, this month always goes pretty quick, and then we're going to be opening up to March, which is nice little detailing kickoff season, a little bit warmer weather for some of us. Not all of us, but some of us. And before you know it, it's going to be TRCMA time, and it's going to be game-changing, life-changing. It's going to be a ton of fun. I can't wait.
What's going to be wild is I turned 44 on Saturday.
Oh, boy.
It's coming Saturday.
Yeah.
So Levi's 44th birthday bash celebration is going to be happening at my house on Saturday with just me and my family and my kids.
Nice.
That's it.
You're going to celebrate.
Not doing nothing. We're going to go to Pojo's.
Okay,
Yeah.
Pojo's.
We're gonna mess around at Pojo's for the day. Probably spend like $1,000 at Pojo's.
Okay.
Heck yeah.
A lot of money. At Pojo's.
Probably don't.
That goes a long way at
Probably only
Pojo's.
going to spend like $80. Really.
Yeah.
Ridiculous
Maybe
amount of money at
60.
Pojo's. You can just buy Pojo's.
I want to know what that
Probably could
$1,000
buy
night
Pojo's
looks like
for
there.
that. It would probably be pretty insane.
They just give you the keys to the building.
You probably at least get 10 of the horses from the carousel.
Yeah. But I'd finally be able to afford that stuffed animal
Yeah.
hanging on the wall. But yeah, no, but we're going to go to Pojo's and spend the day there, and then we'll do little things, and then my kids are going to go sleep at my mom's house because my mom's back in town. She's finally back from Texas, so kids are going to go sleep over there, and then Carly and I are going to go get some fondue at the melting pot for dinner.
Oh, the melting pot. Ooh.
Nothing better than just dipping pieces of bread in cheese. I tell you what.
Yeah.
It's something that I miss. I have not had since we were in the
yes.
Alps of Switzerland.
That was quite a journey.
Enjoying. Remember that night how you and I got to enjoy
Amazing.
all that hot cheese?
Just hot cheese in a dish.
What did you eat?
Me, I had a salad.
That's right. They brought you
I
a salad.
literally had a salad.
You went to a place like this and you looked and went, yeah, I'll have the salad.
It was quite sad, but here was the deal.
was
We were
sad.
in a small little village town in Switzerland, and then they're like, yeah, tomorrow we got a long day of driving. I mean, just a long day, like 6-7 hours of driving, and go, cool, well, I'm not going to eat a bunch of cheese before doing that, right? In this, prehistoric town
How
here.
much driving do we have? About an hour. It's about 90 minutes.
No, it was
Car rides weren't that long.
They were that long.
You didn't want to literally
From
live by the seat of your pants.
Sion to Geneva was not that long of a drive.
Levi, it doesn't matter. I'm not in control of that vehicle, and I have no idea what the bathroom situation is.
You were
there.
in control of a vehicle on the way back.
Oh,
Yeah, that's right. We
true.
did drive a mini John Cooper Works edition, I believe.
Anyway, it was funny because they didn't know about Anthony's inability to consume cheese.
Right, yeah, that was
being lactose intolerant is a completely normal thing, and I'd probably say like at least 60% of the population nowadays.
Anyway,
is
you
'cause
can
we're
eat the
transforming.
cheese. You can eat cheese. I can eat cheese. I just can't eat ice cream.
Yeah, gotcha.
I've noticed. So see, I'm a selective lactose.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, so without getting too much further into this,
Anyway, that's what I'm doing on my birthday.
I
Yeah,
guess that is the housekeeping that you guys have so desperately wanted to hear. So we have a lot to talk about today because me and Dane have to recap kind of our trip and kind of our experiences and things like that you'll be looking forward to. So I think what we'll do is we'll start with Levi and ask him what his weekend's like, and then
Yes,
probably
of
take the
course.
reins.
It was long. I want you guys to strap in. It's going to be about 45 minutes of me
Oh, my
talking.
goodness.
Oh, I don't
Hope you guys have your
down.
drinks. Hope you guys have your
We
snacks.
don't.
You're ready to go.
thing I
Here we
got a
go.
big
No,
bottle.
my weekend was pretty basic. I had a car to detail from my buddy Wayne. I had a coating job originally scheduled. They ended up canceling and rescheduling until the first weekend of March. So Saturday morning, I woke up and had to come here because we hosted the Porsche Club, Silver Stage Porsche Club, and it was me and Brodel doing a little wash and talk on a Porsche Cayenne. And while we were hanging out and doing that, we had about 65 people in the building learning, watching, and then we were able to not only tell them about the toy box have the guy from the toy box here.
Which, for those who don't know, is like a
Is our
storage place
car
for
storage
high-end,
facility
interesting
over
cars.
here. It's not ours. It's on our property.
Neighboring facility.
And Connor. And the goal of this was to get all these Porsche folks here, do a little wash and talk like Anthony and I have done in the past. And then normally we would have them like just order stuff or buy stuff. the first year it worked out well because we had a storefront. The second and third and fourth and all that stuff, it didn't work as well because we didn't really have a storefront. So we just had some products available. But this year, new store, sent them all over, said, hey, head on over there. And it worked out exactly like we had hoped because when I walked in, people were like literally walking out with piles, mountains. You couldn't even see the faces.
Oh gosh, these are very old people too. So some of these, I mean,
well, and then they had to walk clear across the parking lot again. But we had basically said like, hey, let's go over to the store, check it out, see what you think, look at some stuff. There are products available for sale today. We had a kit that we had built for the show of the stuff we had used, plus the new brush we had talked and shown them. And so we had put those in stock for them. And then people went over to the toy box to check that out.
Right. Okay.
As well before leaving. So super cool, great crowd, fun crowd. We were done by noon. It was a perfect morning, probably the fastest we've ever done a event.
Usually, it goes to like 1 or something.
But people really liked it, really enjoyed it.
Great.
Tons of questions. That group is great. Headed back home, pulled the truck that I had to detail, washed it. It was an old landscaping truck, so covered in mud.
Really?
Filthy. Not fun, but my buddy Wayne bought it for $1,500.
Yeah. He does this a lot.
When I drove it back from his place there, it drove nice, rode nice. It was really a good running truck. I was really impressed with it. But he said he had to put a bunch of money in the transmission and some other stuff. And his goal was to flip it. But there was a lot of dirt. That thing was filthy.
Probably like 2-wheel drive, regular cab, kind of.
4-wheel drive, 5.4 liter, short box, extended cab. Good looking truck, but just needed
Sorry, when
gone
you said
through.
landscaping truck, I was picturing kind of a more work truck spec kind of. Yeah.
But everything worked on it. It was a good running truck, but just one of those that I just couldn't get all that dirt out. It was weird.
No.
Then spent the weekend working on that. Carly and I and the kids just kind of had a light, fun weekend, just kind of chilling. Augie wasn't feeling good this week. So that was a little harder, but he had some friends over, which was good. And then Monday they had off. So they got President's Day off. So the kids and Carly got a 3-day weekend. But I got my next project dropped off that I have to get done by the 29th.
No way.
58 Chevy from Custom Colors, if you want to check out their Instagram page.
With a K, I imagine.
KUSTOM Colors in Nampa, Idaho. It's a paint shop, custom paint shop that does some amazing 60s style, 70s style custom paint work. Sean Phelps called me and said, hey, I want you to do my car. This is my personal car, this 58 Chevy that I've been building. It's got 3 different layers of flake in it. It's got candy on it. Ooh. It's got clear. It's got flake in the clear. This thing is going to be ridiculous in the sunlight once it's done. He's blocked most of the entire car down. He had a couple little spots that he wants me to kind of touch up for him because they're just really intricate, and he doesn't do that level of intricate sanding. So I've got a couple spots I got to work on, and then the rest is just going to be completely cutting that whole car out. 3-stepping it. This is when you want to do this kind of stuff, when you have 5 or 6 layers of clear coat that you can just play in.
It's a playground. Yeah.
So that's kind of my little birthday present to myself, is to just mess around on something cool like this.
That's fun.
Yeah.
And then so got that got dropped off, towed over, pushed into my garage. So I have that. So I will be posting some pictures when I'm working on it so you guys can see it, because it is pretty ridiculous.
In the Facebook group, I imagine.
Once I get some color and some shots, it should be pretty rad with the light on it and stuff. But I have that to work on. And other than that, it was a pretty easy, chill weekend. We've been watching Masters of Air.
Yeah,
that's been really good.
One. Yeah.
Night Country, season 4 of True Detective, finished on Sunday.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
So now you can watch the whole season.
Dane, you can binge it. You'll be excited.
Yes.
It's so good.
Okay.
I
think my wife was
good.
watching the last episode last night. It seemed like it got really crazy.
Oh my gosh. No, Anthony, it's nuts. It's really good.
I walked in on a bunch of screaming, and I believe the text, the whatever it is, the subtitles said, like, what's that called? Like throat screaming, or what's it called?
Throat singing.
Throat singing, right? And I go,
Like in the middle of Dune.
Yeah. It was kind of weird.
It's but yeah, no, it is. So fun fact, I don't know if you know, Dane Anthony, because he has a child, has subtitles now.
Oh,
That's what happens when you have kids. You just keep the subtitles on because you can't.
You don't know.
What's going on.
I'm like an old man. For the last 5-6 years, I've just watched everything at home with subtitles on, regardless. And I realize that is sacrilege to some people, but for me, I feel like sometimes
everything we watch,
the mix on audio, especially if you're watching a movie like Tenet or something, you'll miss dialogue from people, and you're like, wait, what was that? And you don't want to be the person who like asks during a movie, what'd they say? You don't want to be that person. So just watch with subtitles.
Yeah. But that's what we do, because I noticed I didn't do it until I had a kid. Yeah. And then it was like, oh, man.
But like I watch foreign stuff too, so like having subtitles isn't weird to me. Yeah. So I'm used to reading.
I watched a lot of Japanese films.
Yeah.
So,
but those are the two we watched that we've been really really enjoying.
Cool. Yeah, no, I'll definitely check out Night.
And then what's the other one we watched on Netflix? It's like Stalker, Lover, Murder, something.
It's like a true crime
documentary. Holy crap! I'm just gonna say that. You guys have to watch it. It's only about an hour and 20 minutes.
Is it like a two-parter type
No,
thing?
it's just a
single
one story, but it's so absurd and nuts that this is real and it happened.
Okay.
You're just going to have to watch. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah,
you're just going to have to watch it.
Spoil anything.
Because my wife and her sister were talking about it on the drive. They went and ran some errands, and when they came back, Carly was like, we got to watch this. And we watched it, and I was like, what? It was one of those where I was like, no way. What? Like, it was so crazy. So for those of you that watched it or are looking for something that's just kind of, it's easy, and it's not light, but it feels bite-sized because it's not a huge production.
Yeah, because usually Netflix does like those multi-part kind of like true crime stories. So if it's a single one, easy watch. Okay.
And then Saturday night, Carly and I went on a date. Went to do a candlelight concert.
That's nice.
So there's a group out of Salt Lake that goes around the world doing what are called these candlelight concerts. And it's a candlelight concert series, and they play classical instruments. And in this one we saw was 3 violins and a cello.
Okay.
They rent space at old cathedrals, old churches, wherever they are.
So it's like a string quartet.
Mm-hmm. And then they have the whole place filled with LED candles. So the place is lit by candlelight. And then they play popular music, but in that string quartet style. Yeah. So this evening's performance was on Hans Zimmer. And so we got to hear Pacific, Interstellar, Dunkirk, Inception, Pirates of the Caribbean,
Hans Zimmer's got a
Dark
big
Knight
catalog.
We got to. They played probably 12 songs. It was about an hour and a half.
Yeah,
$25 a person. It was really fun.
Get the bat.
But something that I would say, like they're doing their next performance here is at the Egyptian Theater.
Cool.
And they're doing a Queen catalog of Queen music. Wow. And so. So they do a bunch of different stuff. So it was pretty cool. So it's called, I think it's on Fever Events, but it's a candlelight concert. You've probably seen it all over Instagram.
I was going to say on Instagram, I kept getting ads for it.
They've been blowing them up on their ads.
I saw that.
So that was where we saw, and we're like, whoa, huh? And then it was like music of Hans Zimmer, and we're like, wow. That's really fun. Good. And then a kid proposed. Homeboy proposed on the last song. The girls got up that were playing, the musicians, and they were like, oh, okay, guys, so this is going to be our final song. I want you to know you can record this one because they don't want it recorded unless it's the last song. They're like, you can record it, and we're going to enjoy it. And it was the Pirates of the Caribbean. And they're like, but we've got a friend first who wanted to say a few things, so we're going to ask him to come on up. This kid, pops up, runs up, and the girlfriend's like, what? And he gets up there, and he's like, all right, guys, well, I want to really appreciate everybody for coming out tonight, and hope you've enjoyed this, and if I could get my girlfriend up here, so-and-so, and she's like, what? And he goes, come on up here, baby. And he's like, we've been together. We've been friends for 18 years. We've been together for 3 years. And then he straight up proposes, and everyone's like, yeah, woo. It was beautiful.
I was just saying, that's beautiful. You better hope it works.
Pirates of the Caribbean, though, that's a
That's a
That
choice.
was right before the song.
Okay. I was gonna
So,
say,
it was-
Will you take
Yeah.
me for a marriage?
No, they played it after all that. But he's in this, as it was held at the First Presbyterian downtown. So you're in a big type of cathedral with candlelight all around and all these people. You just got to watch it. It was like, I was like, good on him.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So we had a
That is fun.
good time. So we had a lot of fun with that. And so anyway, that was my weekend. Simple and easy.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And then, like I said, this weekend, going to go eat some cheese. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's kind of like a twofer, right?
You should bring
No,
a can
absolutely.
of Cheese Whiz, and then when they go to bring you the pot, you say, no, thank you, I brought my own.
Got a little,
No.
I'm gonna add a little topping to this.
Yeah, that's
Sir,
the
that's
good
the
stuff.
Alpine blend.
Yeah, well, it's here now.
But anyway, so that was my weekend, and
Nice.
it was good. So
Yeah.
tell me about your trip.
All right, you know what, Anthony, you're the storyteller here. I'll just fill in the blanks if we have any, but you carry this one.
Thank you, Dana.
Yes.
I will try my best here. All right, so many of you guys know we were leaving down to Florida on our kind of own adventure, right? Outside of MTE. People thought that was connected. Not connected.
Slightly
Yeah.
after.
So Levi and the boys went to MTE. They had a successful time there. We had been planning this trip since about SEMA or so for us going down to Florida just to do kind of a friend visit and content creation kind of trip. So it was going to be me, Dane, and Jimmy, right? So
And
just-
originally we were
just
going to
the three of
all
us.
try to go down at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
But you guys had to change your schedule to accommodate Matt and
Freddie,
Freddie.
yeah.
And so that was why, in case you guys were wondering why, 3 of us were there one week, and then the next week the other guys
To
were there.
properly do our job,
Yeah.
we had to accommodate what they were doing, because otherwise we would
Yep,
just be there
exactly.
waiting around with our hands in our pockets going, okay, when are we going to do stuff?
Matt has the Adam LZ project going on, and then Freddie's always got some type of car project going on. So what ended up happening was it was the 7th, so we flew down on the 7th from here. So we actually flew up to Seattle first, and then flew from Seattle all the way to
They
Florida.
got to make the trip longer before they let you
Yeah, but see,
cross.
And-
you guys got to fly a little better quality than I got to fly that
It was
flight.
all right.
We'll say it was
pretty
a very
nice.
first quality
Yeah.
first
yeah.
quality
Top tier.
flight,
Top tier, you could say.
Top
It
shelf.
was quite nice, and
Let's just say, as a big boy, it was nice having room
Oh,
for
I bet.
once, and I actually,
And you didn't have to sit in the middle.
and I actually arrived at the end feeling refreshed.
Oh, good.
Nice,
So
ready
the
to
trip-
work.
So the trip really did start off on the right note, or maybe
Yeah.
perhaps the wrong note, depending how you look at it. Because we were sitting on the flight, right, and Dane goes, "Oh, we have some movies here we can watch on this flight."
Right.
I go, "Yeah, absolutely." And so, I ordered my food, the fancy food that comes
Yeah.
with that particular flight. I got
Right.
French toast and all this
Oh,
crazy
That
stuff.
delightful.
French
It was-
toast looked insane.
It was probably one of the better French toasts I think I've ever had in my
Very
life.
nice, yeah.
and it was on a plane.
After having that, Dane and Jimmy didn't
Must
order
be
food,
nice.
and I said, "You guys didn't order food?" And they
No,
go-
but it was
they go-
too early. My stomach was not.
I said, "You're on a Delta flight like this. You always order the food because
Always.
it's always gonna be crazy. And
Always.
even if you don't eat it, have a bite because what's the worst that can happen?"
After seeing
You
your
don't finish
French
it?
toast, I was upset. I didn't order any. However,
Yeah. The people in the other areas have to pay for that.
yes,
correct. And
understood.
it's quite expensive.
And
It-
and as a
yeah.
couple of old poor kids, we eat. It's the
Yeah.
Jack Reacher line: eat.
Eat when you can. Yeah.
Kind of like how he ordered the salad at the fondue restaurant, though I wasn't taking any chances with where we were going. I had to play
But Dane,
it safe.
you live dangerously. You
Normally,
always-
yes.
Dane, your stomach is the Iron Dome.
It is.
It
doesn't.
kind of
it
is.
Can't
You're
be
not
stopped.
wrong. But in this case, I was just like,
Anyways,
gonna
let me get back to what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
So we're looking for movies on the flight. I got Oppenheimer. I got a bunch of other ones, right? And then I saw the one I've been wanting to see for a while, which was called The Creator. And I go,
Yeah,
"Ooh,
good.
they got The Creator
Good
on
stuff,
here, right?"
yeah.
And I look at Dane, and he goes, he's like, "I'll watch The Creator with you." And I'm looking, and I go, "Dane, is this a sad movie?"
I don't know why he asked me that.
And I said, "Dane, is this a sad movie?" Because Dane's done this to me before.
That's
right?
sad, but it's sad.
And Dane goes, "What? No, it's not a sad movie. It's like an action movie." And I
Also,
go,
it was shot on like FX3s and stuff.
I'm like,
It's cool.
"Are you sure it looks like it's going to be a sad movie?" And he goes, "No. It's an action movie. Trust me, you're really going to like it." And I go,
Rogue One.
"Okay." So we start watching this freaking movie, right? I don't know, whatever it is, three quarters
Gareth
of
Edwards,
the
thank you.
way through. I'm sitting there. I'm like, this is freaking sad, right? I'm sitting here, I got tears I'm holding back.
Yeah,
Are we gonna go to heaven?
And then
Find out it's his kid.
yeah, I'm like, this is messed up, dude. That Dane's making me watch this, and then it ended, right, dude? We're both in tears, and I'm like, Dane, why the heck did you make me watch that? You said it wasn't sad.
And I turned to him and I said, well, it was good, right? And he goes, yeah, it was good, but that's not the point.
He didn't want to cry on an airplane.
God, it's freaking sad.
Got
And
it.
I was like,
Fun fact, that was the movie I was trying to go see when I went out and discovered my Jag crashed into in the parking lot. Just
yeah,
saying.
not good. So, great movie, The Creator. Check it out, watch it. It's
Yeah, I love it.
I mean,
It's great.
it's a really, really good one. So, but we did that. We landed in Florida. Obviously, temperature was amazing, 70-something degrees. It was perfect. And then we went and got a rental car. And so for the rental car for the week was an Acura MDX that they tried to upgrade us to. That car was 4
Explain
years.
that process.
That car was 4 years old.
What was the previous car you were going to get?
It was.
They were going to put us into a Ford Edge, is what online said. And then when we arrived there, they're like, actually, it'd be more of like a Chevy Equinox or something. And then the guy at the counter, we happened to get a cool guy because at first it was looking a little stuffy in some of the things. And the guy who walked up was like a new guy walked up and he's like, all right. And then he tried to like upsell us on this Acura MDX. And I think because I specified we wanted to make sure we had the toll pass.
Yeah.
Because they like glue it to the windshield.
Yeah.
I thought they were finally like building them into these things, but they haven't done that yet. So in this case, when we mentioned that, it's like he tried to sell us on the MDX. And then when that didn't work...
No, I just literally said, you're like, hey, do you want to upgrade for $10? I said, absolutely not. But you can give it to us for free. And he kind of laughs. He goes, maybe. And so he ended up giving us the car, but the car had like 50-some thousand miles on it. It had a bunch of creaks and squeaks.
It was rough.
But we jumped into the car and then immediately headed straight from the airport to Varsha's shop. So for some reason, I remember his shop being way further away than what it actually was.
It felt more remote the first time we went
not that
there.
far. So we got to Freddie's shop, and of course the boys were already working. So it was funny because we basically walk into the shop, and I see like 3 guys surrounding this motor in the middle of the ground, right,
Yeah.
with this Porsche up in the air. And I go, what the heck? What are you guys doing? They go, oh, yeah, you guys are here. And they go, hey, we just totally got this engine out of the car in like 4 hours. And we're like, oh, that's pretty cool, right? And they're like, yeah, we have no idea what we're doing, right? And I go, oh, cool. And then Freddie goes, don't worry, dude. We're basically going to take that engine over there, throw it up into this car, probably another 4 hours, and you guys could probably get started detailing like tonight. And I was like,
Cool.
Oh, sweet, right? Because at that time it was like, I want to say it was like 6 o'clock is when we'd got there.
That was Wednesday night.
It was Wednesday night, and we did stop at a McDonald's, and we did stop at a what's it called? What's the grocery store? Publix to grab some snacks and whatnot. We had to stock up on our snacks for the week.
Course.
And you know what? When we're on the road doing that, that's probably one of the best things that we can do.
Did any of you take your Yeti with you?
Did not take the Yeti with
Should have
us.
taken that. That could have been someone's carry-on.
That would have been smart.
Yeah.
So we basically got set up at the shop, got all of our stuff laid out. And at that point, that first night was kind of more of like a get familiar with the shops, because Freddie has acquired essentially another shop over just right literally
In the complex.
Yeah, in the complex. And so we went and checked that out, and it was cool. I mean, we just got to visit everybody. So we had Jack there, we had Rex there, we had the new guy named Tommy, who's now
Also a very
Freddie's
cool guy.
new kind of film guy.
Videographer, edits shorts, reels, that kind of stuff.
And Tommy's just awesome, just the coolest, chillest guy ever. And from there, we actually got to go over, and I believe it was the second day we'd check that out. But that first night, it was just kind of a hangout night, just literally chill out, relax, travel day, get everything situated, and start grabbing some content and stuff like that of just kind of filming, the vibes.
Recording what they're doing, because honestly, it wasn't moving that fast.
So then that night we ended up actually going over to Freddie's house, who he'd invite us to go stay at his guest house, right?
We
He
had
said, hey,
no idea what to expect on that.
3 of you can stay here at the guest house. And we go, sweet, that's really, it's really nice of you. So we head over to his new house. This is different than what his previous house was that we had visited many years ago. And new house was sweet, dude. I mean, like literally,
cool.
Like mansion style amenities.
Yeah, it's like a 80s.
It's on the edge of a lake,
style,
though. The
right?
road's in front of
Yeah.
it, but it's basically next to a lake.
a lot of amenities that the house had, but I mean,
Are there gators in that lake?
probably.
Yeah,
But
we didn't find
massive, massive pool, massive, like, whatever you call that. Kind of like
Imagine
area.
like a gazebo, but more like a longhouse. Like it's just an open roof with rafters and stuff.
Like an
you have
outdoor
at a park.
kitchen, patio, you
Super
name it.
cool.
So we end up going to.
I think they call them lanais.
Lanai, okay.
We end up getting into the guest house, and they completely renovated that recently, like literally within just weeks prior. Super nice. I mean, they did a really good job. I mean, his girlfriend left us like a really nice note saying, hey, there's snacks here, make yourself comfortable. And that, for what it's worth, that place had everything. So like the shower had body wash, had shampoos, and it was all dude stuff, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of cool because it was like, oh, sweet.
It's
all
like,
smell good stuff. They had like dude wipes. They had, I think there's cologne in one of the things.
They had options, not just like one or two. There were like 3, 4 things.
I go, this is sweet, right? Like the kitchen.
They knew you were coming.
The kitchen was cool, but we had,
it actually had a kitchenette in it.
we had 3 beds. So we had the couch bed, we had the bed, and then there was the
Air mattress. But it looked like a mattress because, I don't know, the way it was set up, it's all decorated and stuff.
But
It looked
massive big screen
legit.
TV with YouTube pulled up. So like,
Naturally.
it was just kind of funny because we were like, oh, it was just way nicer than what we thought. So we were super grateful that we were able to stay there. But he gave us a quick little tour and showed us around. And before you know it, we were pretty much passed out that first night. So the following day, which was now Thursday, our plan was for it to be our full day of detailing,
was going to be a detail
right?
day.
Because they said, hey, we're going to get this engine in, and once we get this engine in, we're going to drop the car down. You guys can start detailing, right? Yeah. Well, here's what ended up happening. They go, okay, we need more time to get this engine in because we're having some issues with some clips. We're having some issues with the transmission bolts and stuff like that. So they go, is there other things you guys want to do while we're doing this, right? And we go, yeah, we can make ourselves busy. So we ended up meeting the people across the street at the shop called Drizza Auto, right? Jimmy saw this place, sprinted.
This is Jimmy's
Didn't
heaven.
run, he sprinted. He literally tripped over us. He threw his camera on the ground. We're like, Jimmy, what's over there? And he goes, there's 240SXs everywhere, right? So
and a Nissan
excited.
Master Mechanic.
So basically, over at Drizza there, the lead, one of the owners is obviously a master tech, and Derek, he's a master tech there for Nissan, but he's also massively into the tuner scene. He's been into the Fast and Furious tuner scene since literally the year 2000.
Late 90s,
And
early
so
2000s.
he's just like a wealth of knowledge. But the whole shop is super cool. Green floors, that's kind of like their theme,
Kind of
right?
vibey in a way.
And going around and checking out everything else was just super cool because, I mean, they had a bunch of 240s there, GTRs, multiple GTRs that he was working on. In the very back, he had a 2000 Honda Civic hatchback, right, with a H22 turbo swap in it and like a full, Type R interior and all this
That
stuff.
was his
And
personal
I go,
car, was it not?
It was his, I believe. Then he sold it to his brother or something like that. But regardless, this car was like time capsule car. I go, oh my God, how many miles are on this? And he goes like, I think there's like 29,000 miles on this Civic hatch. I go, are you freaking kidding me? I'm like, this is insane, right? He goes, out of all the cars here, that's what you like? I go,
No,
absolutely.
you just bypassed everything for that car.
Simple.
Yes.
You're like, I don't think like I have a friend who would love this.
Everything under the hood was period, though. It was like watching the first Fast and Furious movie. It was pretty great.
So, no, I mean, it was really cool. So we ended up doing a tour there, and we did a shop tour there, which I think people will be
you'll
really
see that
interested.
eventually.
So you'll see the full footage in the full shop tour, and they were just super nice. Him and his wife were just incredibly nice.
She was impressive, too. She could fully disassemble an engine, all that
she
stuff.
She knows her stuff.
She didn't seem to know just as much as
I was
him.
just basically telling him, like, guys, I am so jealous that you have this. You guys are operating here. Like, we'd kill for something like this in Boise, where somebody was knowledgeable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
To this
that's
degree.
the guy that built Jack's Evo motor. That's the guy that helps with multiple other, big, YouTuber and other tuner builds and whatnot. And I go, crap, dude. Like, if you just moved from here to Idaho, you would have business for the rest of your life. You would never be hard for
Eons.
business because we have nobody that is this skilled, right? So we did our shop tour there, which was great, and then the rest of the day we were setting up the rest of our stuff. We did some unboxing videos. We did some kind of fun stuff around the shop, but ultimately we were waiting on Freddie to get this motor back.
You weren't sure when it was going to be ready, so you kind of wanted to be ready to jump on it if they were like, okay, now's the time to detail because you knew we had limited time.
Yeah.
But I, being there, he's detailing, Jimmy's shooting, and I'm basically like managers on the floor, making sure that we actually get the things we set out to accomplish. So for this one, I know I was trying to look for any opportunity to just do something because obviously the 996 Turbo wasn't happening at that time. So we started looking through the lineup of cars like, is there something else we could work on in the meantime? Is something dirty we can just do a quick like wash video with? And so I went down the line of different cars that were there. Obviously, I kept getting pulled towards this little Honda Beat he had in the corner that had some of the thickest dust I've seen. But he said the paint wasn't great underneath it, so probably don't waste your time. So, okay, understood. But we ended up on a pretty special car anyway.
Yeah, so we essentially just did a rinseless wash video on Matt Armstrong's RS6 Avant, right? And so that's the car he recently just did some content on and got a lot of views on YouTube. So we're like, shoot, we'll watch this. So pulled it out, did not know the backstory of that car or
Probably
how much
better
of
that we didn't know ahead of time.
how much of a headache it was because it was hilarious because like Rex was pulling it out, but he was being like super gentle with everything. I'm like, why is it being so weird about it? So I just like hop in the car and I start going back and forward and going reverse and going drive, going reverse, going drive, and all of that. Little did I know that car was not able to get in reverse or drive just literally the day before, 2 days before. And so I'm sitting here and have no idea. I'm
Driving like a normal car.
You're like putting it into drive and putting your foot on the brake and trying to get it to lift up.
He's not abusing it, but he's just treating it like a normal car. Like, okay, we just got to move out of here, go over here.
So we ended up doing a rinseless wash on that, did like multi-towel method, kind of did like a how-to video. And that ended up working out pretty well. We were in the other side of the shop and we did that. And then we went back over to check on Freddie at that point in time because we'd already shot a couple of videos. We said, hey, how are things looking right now? And he goes, we're still not there yet. You know, we're still getting the engine in. So ultimately, the engine took 4 hours to take out. It took about 16 hours to put back in.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right? And really not by any fault of them. It's just the clearances are super tight, especially when you're putting an engine back in a Porsche that has like no room. So the clearances are super tight. So I think that night I got a little involved and kind of helped them, with getting the motor back into the car and getting it up in the air. And so that was kind of the end of that Thursday night. Now, keep in mind, their goal was to be on the road Friday morning.
Yeah.
It's Thursday night. The engine barely just got back in the car. It's not plugged back in.
Nothing's been detailed.
Nothing's been detailed. Nothing's been done there. But we've gotten content as TRC, which is great.
Yeah.
So we're kind of covering our bases there. So we ended up going home that night.
But you washed it that night, right?
No.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Nope. It gets better. So that Thursday, we go home, and we were all of us were pretty exhausted actually that day. Like,
it was an intensive day, even though we weren't working.
We
on
were
the 996.
pretty tired. And keep in mind, we're not eating like any good food.
Yeah.
We're
No.
eating McDonald's. We ate some pizza. Not even that day. I think we basically just had
We
McDonald's.
watched like a quarter of Pacific Rim because that's what they do for like the lunch breaks is just pop on the TV. Like, I feel like watching a big robot movie. It's like, okay.
We watch a little bit of that. But I mean, what's funny is that they very much treat the thing as a business. The whole concept is a business. And so they have kind of normal lunch times and whatnot, just of these 5 guys, but they're friends. So we felt really comfortable just kind of hanging around them and, joking around and it didn't feel super corporate, I should say.
No, we don't feel like
obviously.
outsiders when we're there. They really make you feel like part of the crew,
Yeah.
and they're really good about that.
Yeah.
So huge shout out to those guys.
I think it just helps that we have kind of very similar personalities because I think
Yeah,
if we had
that
different
helps.
personalities, then I could see maybe people would be uncomfortable.
If you're a more serious person, you might have a harder time.
Yeah. Like I think there was like 30 minutes or 40 minutes where I literally laid on the couch and took a nap and because like my back was hurting and I go, well, cool, got that out of the way, back to work, right?
Yeah.
So it was cool. So then Friday we woke up, we got there to the shop. I think this was the earlier day, so we got there around whatever it was, I think 8:30 or 9. And we got there and immediately they started in on the engine stuff and then we had a plan to go over to this Porsche shop, right?
That was a result of Rex showing me some pictures of a little museum in this restoration place, and I said, oh my god, where is that? And he goes, oh, it's right up around the corner. I'm like, do you know the owner? And he's like, yeah, no. And I was like, could you get a hold of him? Maybe we could go look. Are they cool with cameras? So the next day we go and actually see this place.
So, well, again, while they're working on the car.
Yeah, because we knew once again it was going to take a while, so we figured we're safe to go and just do other stuff in the meantime because more content.
It's called like AJR Restorations.
Alex Job Racing, but it's AJR Restorations now.
And so we went over there, and that place is sweet, man. Like straight up like Porsche professionals, Porsche like mechanics. Like
tell them you're a Porsche concourse.
Yes, I'm a Porsche Conquest level
judge. Sebring, Daytona,
I'm also a driver in my simulators and whatnot, and they were very impressed by all those things. But we went in there and we did our shop tour, but they showed us everything they have there. I mean, gosh, that place has like so many years of like prestigious racing history, which is pretty cool. But they had like RSR Porsches inside there. They had all these different crazy racing cars that were like so done up. I mean, like dream GT3 racing, like, you know.
Something that looks like a 993 Porsche 911, but underneath is actually a fully custom tubular frame kind of insane race car done for endurance racing and stuff like that. All the stuff you can imagine. And then the little trophy room they've got, which is like the entrance of like probably what used to be like a hot rod shop or something. You can barely walk in there because the entire floor is just all hardware from wins.
Trophies. Yeah, there's just trophies everywhere. So really cool. You guys will see that as well on the Ride Company YouTube channel, and you'll see the shop tour of that. So
huge shout out to those guys for just being super cool, by the way, too. The guy who gave the tour was actually the crew chief for the team. Oh, cool. So had a lot of knowledge.
But no, we got back and Jack gave me a ride in his Evo, and he kind of also showed me around the car and showed me everything that all the time and effort that he put into that. So, I mean,
as an Evo enthusiast.
Well, I mean, not just an Evo, if it's an Evo enthusiast, but just as somebody who likes seeing a car cleaned up the right way and seeing it done the right way. I mean, he did such an incredible job on that car. The paint job, everything was just super awesome. So he showed us around, gave us a quick ride in that. But I think probably more so the second half of the day, we were able to start getting things closer to being ready to go for our time runner content. Because at that point, the engine was back in the car. They had dropped the car down, and they said, okay, basically it's not running yet. We're going to try to get a tuner over here to see if we can get it tuned to get started.
Which they have like 500 feet away in another building is a Eurosport tuning shop. So it's like just bring those guys
basically,
over.
Ultimately, what we found out is that Florida is the place to be if you're a car guy. Holy crap. It's literally the ultimate place to be. Like, it's got Florida within I'd say 500-mile radius in any direction, right? You've got probably 30 tuners. You probably have 100 dynos. You probably have, I don't know, fabricators, welders, paint booths, everything.
Just like a brain trust. Like anybody who knows anything about anything when it comes to that stuff is somewhere in that radius. Somebody has that skill set you're looking for.
And I'm like, what the heck, dude? I'm like, we have nothing like this. I'm like, we have hot rod shops, right? But like, what's interesting about about that particular area is that there is hot rod people, right? But there's also Euro people. There's also Honda people, tuner people, and there's the appropriate resources for every type of person, right? And everybody is just so willing to help and so knowledgeable. Like, that's the one thing is that you would assume that, okay, hey, we could take it to so-and-so. Okay, well, hey, that guy's busy. That guy's a jerk. That guy's rude. You would assume that there would be some type of weird...
There's a catch somewhere.
Right? No, there was no catch. Everybody's just freaking awesome, and everybody's willing to help out.
Everybody had keys to each other's buildings, and they all help each other out, and everybody was cool and nice.
And like, nobody's like charging anything weird. Like, hey, can you come take a look at this, right? Sure, I'll come over here in just a few minutes. Yeah. They drive over, they look at it. Yeah, I think it's probably this. I'd probably do this with this. Okay, cool. All right, see ya.
For example, Drizza came over and actually checked out stuff. I was like, all right, I'll help you with this.
Just what the heck, dude?
No sweat off
Do you know how hard it is just to get somebody from like Nampa, Idaho to Boise, Idaho, just to like check something out? Dude, I can't come out for probably a couple weeks. I
had to do that. I did that to go look at that 58. Yeah. I drove out to Nampa to go look at it, and Sean was like, "I'll pay you to come out here," and I was like, "Dude, I'll just come out there.
Just do it out."
I know, but that nobody does.
But you're right. Nobody does it.
Nobody does it around here. It's like pulling teeth. And so
I almost didn't, but it was the fact that I wanted to do the car. That's why I went out there.
But now keep in mind though, their road system significantly better than what we have here in Idaho. Good God. However their traffic system is set up.
Low car friendly.
It is set up so much better. Like, they go, oh man, the snowbirds are here. The traffic's horrible. And I go, I live 8 miles from work, right? It takes me 15 minutes to get to work. It can take me up to an hour to get home. I live 8 miles. In 8 miles, it takes me an hour to get somewhere.
I live 9 miles away from work, and it takes me about 30 minutes every day, regardless. Yeah, over and back.
It's whatever.
No comment.
It's just
Shane lives right
absolute.
I live
absolute.
right
You can see his house from here.
Well, he thinks we're fine until TRC moves, and then
and then I'm in trouble.
Then he's in trouble.
Then I'm back to the same meridian.
But anyway, that was one cool thing that we noticed. But
that's pretty rad.
that night on that Friday time crunch, they go, hey, how about you could start cleaning the wheels? And I go, okay, well, I guess I'll start on the wheels. So they swapped the tires. They gave me the wheels. I ended up using the G-Technic fault remover, ended up doing some scrubbing with some citrus all-purpose cleaner. I mean, I used whatever I could to get those wheels looking good again. Because
what brush were you using on those?
I ended up using, what did I have on me? I had the Detail Factory Boar's Hair, the screwball brush, and then I also had the actual tire brush I was using on the barrels.
I think it was the tire brush.
Because, they were so pitted. Yeah. They were so bad.
They were crunchy, crusty.
You had to use something, right? Yeah. They didn't have any sandpaper, or they didn't have any steel wool there, so I used what I could. And for what it's worth, I think I did a pretty freaking good job.
They came out great.
I think they looked amazing. So I got the wheels looking good. Then they got the car down on the ground, and by this time, the car is down on the ground, and we are ready to wash it. It is 7:30 or 7:45 at night now.
Yeah, we placed the car outside at 6:45. The sun had already gone down. 7:30 is about the time you started rinsing it.
And so that's when Freddie goes, hey, we're all kind of hungry. Maybe we should just order pizza. And so he orders pizza, which was actually very good pizza. And we sat down on the couch and we ate pizza and some chicken wings and whatnot. And that was good because that was like the first like real meal that we had, even though it was just pizza in like how long. So we washed the car, got everything cleaned up, and at that point in time, it was freaking speed detail. I mean, literally, this was either and I guess I can kind of spill the tea a little bit here and be honest here. I was in the intention that I was going to make this like a perfect detail. Like I was going to make this like my ultimate like.
You were prepared mentally to go that far.
I was mentally prepared to go hard in the paint. I'm talking scan grips, make this car the most perfect thing I've ever done, because I came to the whole trip mentally do that.
That was what it was for.
After our Bentley.
And then Freddie goes, hey, here's the deal, man. Like, I want you to clean the car and do this, but realistically, we don't have time for you to do a 3-step polish or whatever it is you're wanting to do, coating and all this. He goes, I would do what you can on the car. I'm going to basically say, here's your cutoff time. Do everything you can to the best of your ability. This is the way the camera's facing. Just go to town. So I said, okay. So washed it, deconned it, all of that. Rex was trying to pull some of the PPF off the front, which is also
you see
nightmare.
Him steaming a lot in the video.
So I grabbed my wool pad, TLC, started cutting everything, and realistically, the end result was half the car was able to be 2-stepped, looked amazing. I was able to coat some of it with CSU, which was awesome, but I ran out of time. And I said, hey, I can buzz the other side, and they go, don't worry about it because we have to get the PPF off. The car isn't running, and we have to be on the road in about 5 minutes. And I said,
yeah, it was insane.
Okay. So we filmed our last little bit. I left everything for Rex that I said, here's the combo. This is what you're going to do for the rest of the car. Here's the rest of CSU. You can finish out the detail when you guys get home because that car was coming back to the shop. Yeah. It was traveling to Miami that night, which is 2.5 hours away or whatever it is. And then they're going to
show it to Matt from E3 at 2 in the morning.
And then drive it straight back.
And take it back.
And in the video, they gave it to him.
Yes.
They gave it to him, but they said
it's yours, but they're
going to fix it first.
Stuff, So
Rex will finish what you started, essentially.
It was a lot of work, dude. But I mean, they asked us and they said, hey, do you want to go to Miami? And we go, God, dude, it would be fun. But here's the deal. We have to be at Matt's shop in the morning. We really probably shouldn't. So we ended up staying the night at Freddy's that last night.
Yeah, we didn't have a place to stay, and he volunteered that, so that was very nice of him to do.
So we cleaned up the guest house, cleaned up all of our stuff, took out the trash, did what we could to make it easy for them, and then we got on the road. And so we got to Matt's. Actually, we ended up, on the way to Matt's, we stopped at iBarbecue, which is kind of right outside of Lady Lake area.
They all said that was like Rex's place to get lunch usually. Yeah. Worth it.
So we stopped there, Lady Lake, or stopped there, iBarbecue. Awesome. Got to Matt's OGHQ. Jimmy had never seen OGHQ before, never been there. No. So I think Jimmy's perception, he thought it was going to be this massive compound. I think in his head he thought it was this massive thing. I go, dude, Lady Lake is not that big of a town, and in OG, for what it's worth, I mean, they've got quite a few different buildings here.
Yeah, the main building is about the same size as our building.
Which, I mean, they got enough space for everything, but I think that he thought like we were getting into a compound, right?
Like ours or something.
Like we don't have a full compound yet, but we're getting there.
Yeah, but we're in 100,000 square feet, and I think he thinks because we're like this, and he's seen all our properties and our buildings as we've grown.
He's acclimated to what this
is. He's like, I think that would
Everything
be it. But most people don't realize that
going
that
to another
much smaller,
another chemical company or somebody you perceive as being even larger online, when you actually see it, you're like, oh, this is different than I thought.
Well, I mean, for what it's worth, Jimmy also thought that G-Technic USA had more space than what we did. Thought they were bigger than us.
And that's also a no.
G-Technic is one building, one small building in Georgia. So, a smallish building in Georgia. But we ended up, what's it called? So we ended up going to OGHQ, meeting up with Matt. And we just, honestly, we got there. We did our shop tour at his OGHQ. And then what was cool, we just kind of sat and talked. Yeah, I mean, we probably could have filmed it, but we just needed to kind of catch up on life a little bit. So we caught up on life, and he goes, cool, so do you guys want to come back to my house later this evening? And you guys go get checked in your hotel, whatever it is, and you guys will come back to my house for dinner. So we said, cool. So we went. This is now our first time driving into
the Villages.
Oh boy!
And for those, and you guys got to stay at the hotel,
the waterfront,
in the middle
center of the Villages,
the waterfront inn.
Crazy.
So we started driving through the Villages. And our jaws were dropped.
It's like, wait,
it's an experience.
This is a real place.
Did you see loofahs on the cars?
We didn't see any loofahs. We were looking for them,
man. Yeah.
But our jaws were dropped because I go, this place is curated. Mm-hmm. This whole little town, whatever the heck we're in right now, and me just being back from Disneyland, right?
Yeah.
I go,
feels real familiar, huh?
I go, is this Disneyland for old people? Like, what am I looking at right now? Because it's restaurants, it's little cafes, it's jewelry shops, it's things like that. But there's old people everywhere. There's golf carts, literally as far as the eyes can see.
Golf carts outnumber cars.
Yeah. No,
and 2 or 3 to 1.
Did you notice the pathways along the road?
Yeah. And they all have their own paths and everything.
Modified golf carts, right?
Some of the modifications are amazing.
You could make a whole business down there just modifying golf carts.
There were a few. We're looking going, that must be an insane
golf
business.
Cart dealer. I mean, we were driving, we couldn't even believe our eyes. So I was like, dang, this is crazy, right? Because they have the park complex where they had live music.
That was just when we were rolling in past the golf course before we even made it to the city
Thursday
center.
afternoon. Yeah. And I'm like,
every day's a party.
I'm like, they're partying. Like, they get old people drinking. They're walking around. They're having a good time. And I go, this is crazy, right?
It's wild.
So we checked into the waterfront, got our rooms there.
Very nice place. Also, pineapple decor. Everything is pineapples. Yeah. The lights, the wallpaper, everything.
No, super nice place. Totally would stay there again. Yeah. Honestly, I mean, shoot, dude, just because it's so fun and funny, like I'd probably just stay there just for fun.
Just do like a little vacation stop.
Even outside of work stuff, I'd probably say this is just a fun place just to go and hang out. So we ended up going back to Matt's that night, and then we ended up doing basically a quick little OG. I don't know what we call it. What we do there that night. We did our OG. We filmed actually several different things.
Yes, we did.
We had our tier list video. We had our OG home kind of tour, right?
Yeah,
that
garage
we did.
Tour of the home, garage shop tour of the HQ.
Yep.
And then we
also
did a wash and talk,
which
was for his channel.
Yeah. So we filmed a lot of content there that night, and then
and then your secret wash.
yeah, and then that was the next day.
The next day.
So that night he cooked up some burgers for us, right? 6 out of 10 burgers, he would say. So this is in normal Matt
They
fashion.
looked very impressive. However, it was a little lacking in seasoning.
Well, normal Matt fashion, he gets us out on the back porch, right? Like, beautiful home, by the way. I mean, the house is absolutely gorgeous.
Crazy
But
cool cooking setup back there.
Cool cooking setup. He brings us to his stovetop, gives us the pitch. Hey, this is why this is the best thing, right?
Yeah.
I go, of course he's going to say this, right?
It's effectively a giant
But
skillet. Just
he
open
pulls out
top.
his ground beef and everything, starts getting everything ready. He has ground beef and onions, right? He had ground beef, onions, and hamburger buns. And he starts telling us about his diet and all that. And I'm like, carnivore diet. I said, okay, well.
Nothing but sticks.
Whatever. So he's like, you guys ever smash burger before? We're like, yeah. He's like, I'm going to make you guys the best smash burger ever. So he starts grabbing this ground beef and he starts molding it up. And I look at it and I go, you put any seasoning on that? Or what's up? He goes like, yeah. He pinches some salt, pinches some pepper.
Well, no,
salt or just
what he said
regular
was he's
salt,
just like,
iodized?
well, what do you think I am? You know, some kind of like indignant response.
Yeah, like, what do you think I am? Of course I'm going to season it.
He's like,
He
you
takes
never
like
have a smash burger. It's just like, just watch my process.
pinch of salt, pinch of pepper. I'm like, oh God. I'm like, I need more seasoning than that. Or where's the garlic salt? So, but he starts making everything, and he makes Dane and Jimmy the first couple burgers, right? And basically what it is bun, 2 patties, slathered in onions, and then
so much avocado oil,
and then
used on that thing.
another bun over the top,
Avocado
right?
oil?
And he's using avocado higher temperature rating, whatever it is.
But
so
just the burger was drooling as I held. It was so spewing.
I loved
oil.
it because Dane's taking a bite. Jimmy's eating. They're about halfway through these burgers, right? And he starts cooking mine, and he looks over. And he goes, "Huh, probably should. I probably should offer you guys some ketchup or mustard or something."
I was already 2/3 of the way through it, and I was like, "That's a great point. Why don't I have ketchup and mayo on this at least?"
Dude, you're dying laughing. I know.
I will say. 6 out of 10 burger, but a lot of that just has to do with the complete lack of condiments or any kind of seasoning.
Possibly.
If you were to season that and you were to put the proper condiments on it, I would take it up to like a 7.5.
Yeah. So,
I think
anyways,
that's fair.
he ended up cooking that.
Any
We
chips
talked.
or any sides?
No, it was literally just burgers.
That's not true.
Meat.
We had potato
Onions,
salad.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
not bad. I like
a little
potato salad.
box of potato salad.
So Michelle came out. We hung out with her, caught up with her, and pretty much before you know it, by the end of the night there, we were like, okay, well, I think was that night that night was not that night was it was Super Bowl.
No. That was the next night.
The next night was Super Bowl.
Because that was Saturday night. Sunday night was Super Bowl night. Saturday night was when we were there for the burgers. Sunday night was different.
What did we do on Sunday night there?
Sunday night, we did the tier list during the day. We did the actual garage tour. Because we talked about the garage tour, but what he did was he walked you through it, and then we were going to shoot the video the next day.
Correct. That's what it was. That's
why you thought.
So we went one night where we just ate burgers, caught up, ate some food, and then the second day was we went. It was Super Bowl Sunday, and that was our full day of filming. And
by the way, the tier list video, I can't wait for that one. That is like the perfect format to put Matt into.
Yeah. Then Sunday night we had fried chicken. We watched the Super Bowl. And we just kind of hung out, vegged out, and then we were like, you know what? We're getting out of here. We're gonna go and back to the Villages because we was gonna be our last night at the Village or second to last night at the Villages, and we go, we haven't. It looks like so much fun.
We want to walk around.
We want to check it out, right?
Wanted to get there early enough because what we discovered the night before was
because what we didn't know is the Villages, right?
As crazy as it gets.
5:00 p.m. popping, 6 popping, 7 popping. 8 less popping. 9 it's dead. Dead. Just dead.
No, you guys remember those Seinfeld episodes when Jerry would go down to visit his family, and they would all say like, "Dinner, we got to have dinner. It's almost time." And he's like, "It's 4 o'clock,
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock,
3:30 in the afternoon." He's like, "Yeah, we got to get down there." And then everything was closed by 8 or 9 o'clock, and they're like, "Why would we stay open that late?"
Yeah, literally everything was like a ghost town.
Everybody's
right?
sleeping.
So it's funny because at the Villages at 9 o'clock, it's just like freaking Disney World. The cleaners come out and they clean, they pressure wash the grounds, and they clean up. And I go, "This is a theme park. This is a theme park.
It's closest modeled to like Disney Springs.
100%.
Yeah,
no,
totally.
It's a beautiful place.
This is literally.
We go to the Starbucks every morning,
and it's on the waterfront.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
really nice.
I was like, this is a theme park. So We ended up going to like one of the places that it's called Red Sauce or whatever it was.
Yeah, Red Sauce, because it was one of the like 2 that was still open.
Yeah, we got some
and
pizza,
it was actually a little
got
busy
some
because people were
drinks
watching the Super Bowl.
So yeah, we finished right there, and then Monday we went to OG HQ to go hang out with the boys, go see Kyle, and go see.
Matt was not with us. He went to Adams.
Oh yeah, Matt had already left to go to Adams.
Yes.
So we were there really just to go see the boys and go catch up with the rest of the OG crew.
Kyle, Tommy,
and
on Monday morning.
all them.
But yeah. Kyle, Tommy, and Bryce and all of them. So we got there and set up for a quick little fun video. We were gonna it's our secret rinseless wash video where we're gonna rinseless wash Matt's E36 without him knowing, type of thing.
And then leave a little reminder sticker
leave a little
hidden away
reminder.
somewhere for him.
Yeah, we won't say
Yeah,
where,
no.
but so we
find
washed the car there, and that was a fun little video. I still think that car is I think the E36 M3 is an ugly car, but I washed it anyways.
It's a beautiful color, though.
Beautiful
in person,
color. I just don't think. I think the
amazing
car is underwhelming. Interior is awesome though. Amazing interior. So we did that wash, and then I think we actually finished early, so we had to go straight back to Freddy's because we didn't film his shop tour yet. So we went back to Freddy's. We filmed his shop tour, filmed some promo stuff for TRCMA, and at that time it was like the afternoon, and we were hungry again, and we were just like, guys, we haven't really had like a proper sit down meal, nor have we really spent any money on anything. So like we want to like have like a good dinner. Like, where should we go?
Yeah.
And everybody goes, you got to go to IKT. It's like this place in the village it's like this sushi place and hibachi place. So we say, sweet. Rex says, hey, we'll meet you there. So I went to IKT that night. Walk in and was like, oh, perfect. Sushi, hibachi, right? This is a nice place. And so it was just the funniest thing because we sit down at the table and the waitress there, her name was Kim, was like, hey, is it just you 3? And we go, yeah, it's just us 3. And she goes, okay, are you sure? Is your 4th person coming? We're like, yeah, he's coming. So she doesn't know who the 4th person is. So she gives us our first, couple bits of stuff or
Like
drinks,
10
whatever
minutes
it was.
goes by.
10 minutes goes by and she goes, hey, Where's your friend? Is he coming? Is he lost?
I hope he didn't get lost.
And we're like, no, I think he knows where his place is, and he'll be here momentarily. And another couple minutes goes by, and then Rex gets there, sits down with us at the table. She walks by and she goes, "What the F?" And we go, "Huh?" But she didn't say F. She said the real word.
She said it.
And everybody turns and she goes, "Where'd you find this guy?" And we're like, "What?" And she goes, "Where'd you find this guy?" I'm like, "I don't know. We found him on the streets and we invited him to dinner here." And she goes, "This effing guy, blah blah blah. This is the guy you were waiting for." And I'm like, "What's
Her whole
going
demeanor
on?"
transformed in an
So
instant.
apparently
when
Rex
she saw him.
Apparently Rex knew her very well. Worked there for many years. We didn't know that. So it was a cool, fun night. So we had sushi. We had
Super fun.
We had a good time. So we had basically at that point we'd finished up at the Villages. We were good to go there. So that next morning we drove to Adam Elzey's compound, and so this was about an hour and a half away. We got to the compound. It is about as crazy.
It's in the middle of nowhere.
It's in the middle of nowhere, but the size of this place, it's about as crazy as you'd expect.
Yeah.
Massive, big area. I don't know how many acres it was, but it's a lot. 20 acres,
got wildlife.
30 acres, something like that. So we get there, and Matt's obviously in his trailer, and they're working on the Adam Elzey house restoration. So they gave us a quick walk around. Super cool what they're doing.
Cool to
Saw
see in
Mike
person.
there. And then Matt gave me and Jimmy a quick little tour of the whole compound, and the place is nuts, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, the cars, the lifts, the operation in general, right? Because the businesses that are being ran out of there,
It's a
but like
business.
it's its own living, breathing world, right?
Yeah.
At all times of the night and of the day, there's somebody doing something there, which is just super cool because you have so many different shops around this land, right, or whatever you want to call it, and so many different houses that there's just people on their own time working on their own things.
But they
yet
all
still,
seem self-sufficient. There's nobody there constantly like harping, oh, you got to do this, or you got to
they're
do
all
that. They just
working
know what they're
towards
supposed
their
to
goal.
do.
They have meeting rooms there. They had like warehouses of spare parts that I go, oh my God, how much. I know what some of these parts are.
No,
this is
sure,
like
yeah.
hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of stuff. So we ended up doing that, and then after that, Matt was like, all right, let's film our video. So we filmed our 2 detailers in a drift car, which just released on the Obsessed Project
yesterday,
channel.
yeah.
So you can go check that out. We had a ton of fun. Me and Matt drifted in Adam's 350Z.
How did it feel sitting next to Matt while he drifts where you had no idea what he was going to do?
Better than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, obviously, we just did pretty much donuts. But, I mean, I've been in a few different drift cars now with people, and I had fun. I mean, like, I think we had a good time. And then we went and washed the car. Obviously, not a perfect wash, but we joke around about that. So after that finished up, we were we were kind of so tired. Not tired, but we've been going a lot. So halfway through the day, we're like, okay, do you guys have anything else you want to shoot? And Matt was like, no, I got meetings for the rest of the day, so you guys are good to go. So we said, cool, we'll head back to Orlando. So we drove from there back to Orlando. We checked into our hotel at the Home to Suites. Right?
How was the Orlando Home to Suites?
Very nice.
Airport?
Very nice.
Yes.
Very, I mean, streamlined.
It felt kind of remote too, actually.
Yeah.
Weirdly, kind of like business parky, like off the beaten path, but very close to everything.
Yeah.
Still.
Very nice.
So then we had about half the day left. So then me, Dane, and Jimmy went off on our own adventure.
Yeah. You went to meet your sister too.
Off the clock, yeah. So we clocked out, I should say.
Yeah.
And we went on our own adventure to go meet my sister. And in short, we went around the world in some way, shape, or form. And so saw my sister, had dinner, had some...
Met her beau.
But then my sister just got engaged to her future-to-be husband, and so he's awesome. And so we hung out with them, and we had a really good night. We had just a really good time. And then we basically went home or went back to the hotel, grabbed some food, went to bed because we had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and so jump on our flight and then fly home. So realistically, it was probably one of our best work trips and most productive work trips because of how much stuff we got done, how much filming we got done. But also, knock on wood, nothing went wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it was one of the most fluid examples of a trip where even though stuff didn't go perfectly to plan, stuff worked out in a way that you ended up better off than you
we were able to,
which was great. We were able to adapt on the fly.
Yeah, we just adapted and pivoted and did what we needed to do.
Good.
And
my favorite
everybody
thing.
was in a positive mood. I mean, like, again, like it could have been like something bad happened or something like that. Like, there's always something that could go wrong on a trip, right? We could have gotten a flat tire.
The worst thing that happened, and this is just like everybody else is fine. This is just a personal thing. I brought with me a personal collapsible tripod of my own that I was going to use, and I ended up leaving it at Matt's house. So Matt,
shoot.
If you're watching this, it's in your garage. I'm sorry. I may need it back. Please don't chuck it in the trash.
Throw it away.
That's my personal one. That's not a TRC one. That's my own.
So, no, all in all, it was just an awesome trip. I don't think I had any particular favorite thing because I loved every part of it. I definitely want to do a trip like that again in the future. And I think that with all the content you guys will see, it'll definitely be worth it. We definitely need to do more collaboration stuff with Matt over at OG. I think we get along really well, and I think that the content works out really well from between us and TRC. Yeah. And then Freddie as well. I mean, I just love hanging out with that crew. I mean, that's the thing.
They're great.
Being around them, I didn't really feel like we were working. Like we were working, but because they're such good friends and they're so much fun,
You're happy the whole time.
We like joking around with them. So, no, that was really good. So then finally we got back home, and I think those really over the weekend, just me quickly, I got home, rested for a couple days. On Saturday, I set up my Quick Jacks.
Nice.
5,000 TLX model.
Yeah.
Super pumped for that. As a new Quick Jack owner, I didn't know what that was going to be like, and I will say that seeing your own car that high up in the air in your garage for the first time without jack stands is incredible and super cool.
So now, are you gonna put it on the Dodge Ram, lift it up in the garage?
I think if the Dodge Ram
Might hit the ceiling.
The Dodge Ram weighs more than 5,000 pounds. I'm assuming, right?
You can do your own white details.
Yeah. So
That's cool though.
5,000 pounds and under, I'm pretty much good to go. But no, not just for detailing, but just for working on cars. I was just really pumped to see what that was like in person.
Well, it'll be just a lot easier for you when you do you always like doing your winter changeovers.
Changeovers or taking off my fenders to clean behind them.
Right, exactly.
Right?
You'll be able to lift
Just
it up.
normal, non-crazy
Just normal,
stuff.
non-crazy things. No, it was pretty cool. And then outside of that, just spending time with my family and kind of being back home was also pretty cool. I had to go to my old rental property, do some maintenance over there right on
How
Sunday.
many holes were in the walls?
None.
Oh, it's beautiful.
None.
Such good renters.
We had them there for 3 years, right? They moved out because they bought a house. But they moved out in the wintertime, so it's kind of tough. So we had to find somebody that wanted to hopefully only be there for 6 months. So we actually found people that wanted an old
nice.
couple. They're really old. They want to live there for 6 months and then move out in the summer. But that puts us in a better position for renting.
Sure.
But I will say that I got to that house and I go, oh my God, I think they took better care of it than what we would have, which is very nice and very refreshing. So I don't think that'll always be the case, but that was pretty cool.
Probably not.
Dane, what did you do?
Spent some time with my family, got together, did a little, hang out with my folks, Liz, brother, Corey, and also my cousin's family as well.
Did you tell them how successful our trip was?
Yeah, of course. I actually, I mirrored my phone up on their TV and I kind of walked them through some of the stuff we did. Because I'm like, some of these videos won't be on the channel for a while. So I'm like, here's a basic overview of like the tour we did at Drizza and then at the Alex Job Racing and like some other stuff. And of course, like all the Freddie and Matt stuff, of course.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good time. And nothing really crazy other than that. I had some weird like rotator cuff thing going on towards the second half of our trip. I have no idea why. I just, anytime putting on a backpack or something, it was just like screeching pain. But
no, my favorite part about that trip was actually Dane's phone, right? So Dane's
that
phone
was okay. That was the closest to having something go horribly wrong.
Dane's
That was a
phone
nightmare
was,
scenario for me.
Just wasn't charging correctly, and so like so you know when like something's on somebody's mind at like all times of the day, and you can tell that like there's something absolutely bothering him. It was Dane about his phone not charging all the way.
Yeah,
it was Dane being like, I don't know what's going on about my phone. It's not charging all the way. I'm like, well, what are you using? I put it on the thing. I stick it on there, and it normally charges. I go, plug it in. He goes, well, the plug-in doesn't work sometimes. I go, did you use multiple plugins? Like, are you troubleshooting
I tried
this?
multiple USB
Mine's
cords.
having that problem now where it doesn't plug in. It won't charge by a plug-in.
Oh no!
And so I have to set it on something charge.
Multiple USB cords, multiple adapters, multiple AC, plug-ins to the wall. And also, I use like a key charger, QI, and then I also use the plug into the port. However, some people are like, oh, your port's probably dirty. It's like, well, but other methods of charging were also acting weird.
Yeah.
So it was just like a perfect storm of not what you want when you're using your phone to literally record like wide views of these tours and stuff as a first-person perspective. And the next day you got that coming up. Yeah, that was not great, but it worked out okay because I actually had Jimmy record the Matt OG tour a little bit differently with the DSLR for those ones, just for that particular day when it was really not working my way. And I woke up in the morning with a lower battery percentage than this guy regularly has,
Impressive.
which is shocking and terrifying, and I never want to feel that way
I would
again.
have thought
3% battery?
Person that doesn't charge his phone has the better battery health. Who would have thought?
Yeah, crazy.
But so no, overall,
just leave it at 6% all the time. That's what you do.
Super successful trip.
Yeah.
We had a ton of fun. It does feel good to be back home. I will say though that I totally get the snowbird appeal. I would live in Florida in the winter months, 100%. I was in a better mood. I feel like I could get a lot of stuff done.
You could see it in his eyes. It's true.
It brightened it. Like what it did is like it breathed some like life into me that like I don't normally have in the wintertime here. And I go, crap, dude. I go, so you guys are just still riding motorcycles. You guys are still.
You know what you could do.
So you guys are still working on cars.
And Katie could do.
Yeah, get rich enough to buy a snowbird house.
No, sell your property here, your rental here.
Yeah.
Buy a rental property down there.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Airbnb it as around Orlando,
exchange the house
Disneyland
you got
area.
here that you're renting for one down there.
Yeah.
Because honestly, based on what Rex was saying, they're like half the price down there. Everything up here is expensive.
Buy two of them.
And
then you could do like
villages.
You could do like Kevin Davis did. That's how he made his money.
But what I don't like about that is I
properties.
can't see what I have.
You can't maintain it.
I can't maintain it. I don't know what's going on.
Bring
over
Alex
there.
in. You could bring your sister into the fold.
Yeah.
Maybe you could bring
That's
in
right.
her new fiance.
There you
Hire
go.
him and go, hey man, here's the deal.
He's a sharp guy. He'd be
Pay
able to
$20
help.
just to do a drive by and just go check out the place.
Video it for me. FaceTime me. Let's go walk the house.
I liked being down there for sure. I've never been down there during the summertime. I bet it's absolutely miserable because here's the deal.
The summer
I
is
hate being
miserable.
sweaty and I hate bugs. I'm pretty sure that's
It's all of that.
I think it's all of that.
But
in the wintertime though,
beautiful.
That's what I'm saying.
Quite nice.
Yeah. You guys can rent it and then go visit.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a retirement thing. Well, we still have quite a few more years before that happens. So, but let's just say I totally get the appeal, and I did put me in a significantly better mood. So, yeah, who knows?
Nice.
All right. So, a final thing I'm going to say on this front is if you haven't already, please Go over to Obsessed Garage, check out the 2 detailers and a drift car video. That's great. And also go over to the Tavares YouTube channel and watch his I Made a Mistake 996 Turbo detail video as well. He goes in the full build process, and we show up right around the 29-minute mark. So if you're looking for that, that's where we pop in.
There you go.
But please, if you do watch those, leave a comment down below on those videos just mentioning the Rag Company. It always kind of helps us when people kind of show support outside of our own channel. We like seeing that, and we'd really appreciate it if you just took a second and did that. So, that's all I'm going to say on that front. But thanks again, guys. Make sure you click like before you leave this video here. And we will see you later this week for Q&A. But also, do we not have something going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
We have a little...
Tomorrow's
something.
Wednesday.
Yeah, I know. There's a little special something on the main channel, perhaps.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I think for
look
lunch.
at the
I think for
calendar.
lunch tomorrow I was planning on doing Mexican.
Oh, so we're not talking about a special something happening as a live stream tomorrow?
Oh, we do have a live stream coming up.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind
For
of
Wednesday. So
So
make
that's
sure you guys
tomorrow.
log in and watch that live stream. It's a Wednesday, kind of a wash
It's
and
like
talk.
a Wash Wednesday.
Yeah,
It's like
just
a
come,
Wash
just
and
come
talk.
sign. Just come watch us.
But it's going to
Don't
be
forget,
live,
tomorrow,
and it's going to have a very special guest, and that's all I can really say right now. But
Too fun.
Check it out on the main channel.
Yeah.
It'll be coming out tomorrow. Hopefully, all goes well. We'll just have
There
to
we go.
find out. All right.
All right.
Well, you guys have a fantastic week, and we'll catch up with you the next time we see you. Leave a comment
go.
below. We'll see you later.
See
Bye-bye.
ya.